First, I guess we ought to turn the tables a little bit. It would be nice if Vermont would pick up some of the southern culinary traditions, and that would be a good thing. But I think part of what Vermont has to offer really the nation, and not just North Carolina, is this notion of how to build out a 10-year strategic plan to be thinking about retooling its food system. And what we've done there, I think, is pretty extraordinary. So at this point, we have about 5% local purchasing in Vermont, which is the highest in the nation. And so I think what we have done so far is an interesting model, but what's really going to be interesting for North Carolina and other states is what we're trying to do in getting that number to 10% by 2020. And that involves a complete overhaul of many parts of the food system. It's not just farm gate to dinner plate, it's everything in between, and that's what's really critical, is that middle portion. It's tremendous. I mean, just coming back to North Carolina, coming to the CFSA conference, that in and of itself is really quite a testament to what's going on when things have changed this dramatically from when I left North Carolina about 2 decades ago. I think that tells the story in and of itself that there are 1,100 people here this weekend. And I'm privileged enough to work with young people, throughout the day, and so there's real hope in everything that they're carrying forward, because it really is, it's going to take a generation to build this whole thing out as we recreate the kind of food systems that we want. So it's tremendously exciting to me, and I think there's huge hope, and a lot of that rests on the young shoulders that we're all working with. When you look around the country and you look at places that actually are the most beleaguered, those are the places where the inspiration really is the hottest. And when I'm just in some of the travels over the past year, I've been really fortunate in looking at various parts of the country. Athens, Ohio is one of the places I think we need to be looking at. It's arguably a mature local food system. It's one of the few in the country. They've been at this work for 3 decades. That's a place where you can go and just find an amazing resilience among community that's fairly diverse. You've got the folks who are in conventional agriculture, you have the Amish, you have the back to the landers who came in the 70s, and then you've got the new people who are stepping into play there. So the fact that you're able to do something in southeastern Ohio, I think is a really amazing feat in and of itself. Going to Arizona, a place that actually is incredibly beleaguered, where you've got a lot of issues in terms of poverty, race, food justice, and the fact that good things are happening there. I think it's really fascinating to see the work that's happening there. Gary Nabhan, I think, has put it best, that when you're in a place like Arizona, you're dealing with a really intense environment, and also one that's changing really quickly in terms of climate. And you have to think about not just the ecological carrying capacity, but as he says so well, the caring capacity that we need to take with us. So there's hope everywhere we go, I think. I think today, literally this week, it's FSMA, the Food Safety Modernization Act, and what might happen just as a result of those regulations in their current form. But more importantly, perhaps, it really is about our ability to deal with the complexity of these issues and find a way to actually put them into media bites and media blips. That's one of the biggest challenges, I think, because this work is so difficult, it's so complex, that it's really hard for the media to pick up on the various pieces. And there's the question of whether we will really have the vigilance of generations to carry this whole idea forward. It's not a short-term prospect. It really is about trying to find ways to push these ideas forwards and to carry them forward for a long period of time. As it took us 2 to 3 generations to break down these local food systems, it's going to take a generation to put them back in place. So do we have the patience to do that as a society, as a culture, and really to portray those important messages through the media?